Welcome to Racing News. After having made a significant contribution to Hong Kong racing achieving its world-class status, Douglas White is set to change gears. We chat to him on the line in Hong Kong. We also speak to 4 South African-based trainers, Michael Roberts, Gavin Van Zyl, Dennis Bosch and Garth Puller, about their transitions and what Douglas can expect. But we start this week's show with Kevin Shea and Michael Nelson, who were top of the pops in our Sunmet presenter and viewers competition. Kevin, are you a cut above the rest?
Well, Michelle, as I said earlier, it wasn't really much of a competition with the guys I was against. But, you know, if Kamanga Shamalo had ridden a decent race on Made to Conquer, maybe that would have won.
The excitement of the day obviously got to Ravon.
Definitely got to Ravon as well, but it was a great day's racing. Good for the punters, for the bookmakers, not so good.
He's cutting him back with each and every stride. Do it again, he's flying. Rainbow Bridge is charging home best of all. Rainbow Bridge.
There's no doubt about it, the first and second horses are definitely the best 2 horses in South Africa. For me, I'll still say Do It Again is the best horse in South Africa.
Do It Again, the favourite is safely locked away. Racing to a perfect beginning in the Sunmet.
He got a bit of interference coming out the gates.
Do It Again is also dropping back shortly after the break.
Was a little bit out of his ground, but still ran a great race.
Anton Marcus gives Rainbow Bridge 1, 2, 3 cracks, and the response is instant.
Anton Marcus, definitely the difference. And Head On Show, the up-and-coming horse that I think keep an eye on it for the Durban season.
Do you think if all those 3 come through to the Durban July, we could be set for a cracking run in that race?
Yeah, absolutely. The only problem is it's not a weight for age race. The July is more handicap. Looking at their ratings, I think they're 124 and 125 now. They're going to be carrying big weights, but it'll be interesting to see which route they go.
Well, enjoy your bottle of champers.
I will do indeed.
Are you planning to share it with Warren?
Not one drop for Warren. It's going home to my kids.
Yes, hello.
I'm Michelle Wing.
So nice to meet you.
Congratulations, you're the winner of our viewers competition. Here's your bottle of GH Mum champagne.
Oh my word, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Shall we crack it now? Shall we crack it now and working out?
How did you come to choose those 3 particular horses?
Well, my favorite racing channel is channel 239, and I always watch the presenters and their predictions, and I happened to catch up on Kevin Shea, who suggested the exact of the century was Do It Again and Rainbow Bridge. So I thought, let me switch it around, try that, and then Head On Show came from nowhere.
And when you got the call to say that you had won, what was the emotion in you?
Well, at first I thought it was a hoax, but then I found out it was real, and it was such a nice surprise.
You have a background in horse racing. Tell us a little bit about that.
When I was very young, in the early 80s, I happened to start off horse racing in the Port Elizabeth area, between Fairview and Arlington, and I started as a handler, and I think that is where I found my love for horse racing. And I eventually became assistant starter and then the starter, so I miss all the guys, and I wish I could see all those jockeys and the handlers and the trainers.
Do you enjoy racing in KZN and at Greyville?
I absolutely love it. I often go to Scottsville, but Greyville's my favourite, and I love the environment, and I have a passion. It's absolutely beautiful to go and just relax and have fun out there.
If we were to arrange for you to go to the start, would you enjoy that?
Oh my word, I haven't been to the start in probably 27 years, so it would be absolutely amazing if you could arrange that. I'd really enjoy that.
Well, consider it done.
Super, thank you so much.
A shout out also goes to another 4 viewers who accurately selected the first 3 horses past the post, but not in the correct order. there's always the next competition, so be sure to look out for that.
Being a jockey is really tough. It is tough.
It's been tough, eh?
It's an adjustment, waking up so early in the morning and riding track work.
It was a bit difficult, and the different body muscles that's going to be used.
It's been a learning experience.
It's not easy being a jockey.
You need to be dedicated and keep on working.
Being around horses is truly a dream come true.
I've gotten to know the horses, feel them. First time riding horses, even getting close to one. It's been wonderful.
Riding horses the most. I'm enjoying riding.
I was just glad when I started riding track work.
So it was amazing.
It was a very awesome experience.
It has been amazing.
Quite amazing being around the horses and everyone at the academy has been a joy.
Enjoying it a lot.
That's enjoyable. At the end of the day, you achieve the goals that you would like to.
Yeah.
"48-year-old Joburg-born Douglas White, the Durban Demon to many, is just the second person in Hong Kong to be given a license to transfer straight from the saddle and into a training yard. He's a legend in Hong Kong, having ridden over 1,800 winners and achieved 13 straight jockey championships. As a jockey, Douglas is just the second person to transfer directly into training, the first being another Hong Kong hero, Tony Cruz. Douglas, are you surprised that this has all happened so quickly?
Yes, I'm very surprised it happened so quickly. I wasn't expecting it. I had put in an application mid-December, hoping that the club would understand that I was willing to give up my jockey's license in the next couple of years should a position become available. When I got the call last Monday evening and they said your application has been approved for this coming season, I was very surprised. But it wasn't a decision that was difficult to make. I've done everything that I possibly set out to do in Hong Kong. I've won 13 straight premierships. I've won every race there is to win.
London News, the pride of South Africa, goes up and goes to the lead.
And standout number one is London News. He was the horse that kicked off my career, was my first Group 1 winner in Hong Kong, first horse to travel outside of South Africa with Alex. It was a fantastic moment, a fantastic day for the whole pride of South Africa. But if you ask any trainer, jockey, owner in Hong Kong which race they'd want to most win, it would be the Derby. And I've been fortunate enough to have won 3 of those and hold the record with that. So those are very fond memories. I think any winner in Hong Kong is special. I think I get a lot of satisfaction out of winning with horses that I've helped the trainers mentally with, or physically difficult horses. Just getting that one race, that one win out of them means a lot. And, you know, to win a race in Hong Kong with the competition being as tough as it is, yeah, every win is very special.
Douglas will draw the curtain on his riding career on February the 10th.
It's a turning point for me. It's a new chapter of my life. I get to be around horses, I get to train them, I get to work with them, and I will still be able to ride them in the morning. So it's a new chapter. It's something that I'm really looking forward to, but it wasn't a difficult decision for me to make at the end of the day.
Do you believe your experience as a jockey will prove invaluable in your career as a trainer?
That's a great question, because I've worked all over the world for some of the best trainers, and I've been fortunate enough to see, learn, be associated with them, and I think it's given me a great grounding. It's taught me a lot from a horseman's point of view. the most difficult trade in Hong Kong is knowing the tracks, knowing the times, knowing the industry and the culture and the understanding of what it takes to get those horses to win, because the training here it's not the same as anywhere else in the world. I think you have to train a horse's mind more so than its physique, because it can be very tense at times and shortage of space and no outdoor paddock. It boils down to training a horse's mind, but all the international experience that I've been afforded will certainly help me stand in good stead.
How do you plan to undergo this transition?
I've been working in the stables and around the stables for the last year, helping trainers out and watching and learning. One of the clauses in my new agreement or license, should I say, that I go away for 4 months and work with whoever I choose to work with, and then come back in the end of June and set up my stable in July. So I'll be heading to the UK, to Australia. I'm hoping if time allows me, I can get over to South Africa, and then I'll be coming back to Hong Kong, and I can start to set up my yard from July, where there'll be a lot of transfers from other stables and obviously meetings with owners, and it'll all start from there.
How can fans in South Africa follow you?
I think the best possible way is to go onto the Hong Kong Jockey Club website. It's one of the best websites in the world, and it offers all the information, all the replays, all the track work, and all live interviews. So if they went onto the Hong Kong Jockey Club website, hopefully my fans will be able to follow me successfully. I've got a very short saying, I refuse to fail, so whatever I do, whatever challenge comes my way, I'm certainly going to make the best of it. As I said, it's a new chapter in my life, one that I'm really looking forward to. It's going to be a sad day on the 10th of February when the last race happens, and I do have to eventually say goodbye to everyone, but I'm preparing myself for it, and work starts now, put it that way. I think the jockey's life was the easy life, but I'm ready for it, and I've set my mind to achieve it, so I'm looking forward to it. The 10th of February is actually, it wasn't chosen by me, it was chosen by the Hong Kong Jockey Club. And after about 4 days that I only realized, once I wondered why that day, my dad died on the 10th of February, my daughter was born on the 10th of February, and I'm retiring and reopening a new chapter on the 10th of February. So there's got to be something special about that day.
Douglas, I actually don't know what to say. I'm at a loss for words. It seems to be such a meaningful day to both you and your family.
It is. It's a really special start for me, and I'm very grateful and fortunate to the Hong Kong Jockey Club for affording me this opportunity. It's not an easy job to get, and there were a lot of applicants, so I'm fortunate and I've got to make it work now.
I'm Keegan Naidu.
And I'm Bradley Vinnick.
And we
are Morris v Sportsbet.
It's the dream of any punter and also the most asked question. How do I become a successful punter?
We at Morris v Sportsbet hope to bring you up to speed with what you need to know.
Starting from March, Morris v Sportsbet, in conjunction with Racing News and Teletrack, will be bringing you a series on punting and sports betting.
All you need to know, along with some common sense tips and a few tricks to help you take a logical approach on your way to becoming a successful punter.
We will also need your interaction in our question and answer sessions. There will be many prizes up for grabs in our exciting competitions.
So make a note, we launch on March 3rd. Miss it
or miss out.
It's a general observation that not as many high-profile jockeys follow the sport into training anymore. It could be due to inflated prize money, with many big names banking enough to tide them over during their retirement years. Or maybe it's because training has become a more complicated game than it used to be. So what lies in store for Douglas as he makes that transition? We speak to those who should know, as they've already walked that path: Michael Roberts, Gavin van Zyl, Garth Puller and Dennis Bosch. Garth, does a successful jockey make a successful trainer?
In my opinion, not necessarily.
You do get them, and you do get some that fail.
It's not a hard and fast rule that if you're a champion jockey, you'll be a champion trainer. Definitely not. I've seen some brilliant jockeys become very, very good trainers. The names that come to mind are Tony Cruz, Freddie Head. And then there's some brilliant jockeys that I rode with, Willie Shoemaker, Lester Piggott and others, that never made it. So there's no rule. Successful jockeys can make successful trainers, and they can also fail as trainers.
It's a big difference. You get natural riders that are very good, talented riders that would probably never make a good trainer. There's a lot of things that go into training that you wouldn't see and you wouldn't be involved with as a jockey.
Training is so wide spectrum that you don't have to be a jockey to be a good trainer, and we've seen that with many people around the world.
Is it harder to be a trainer, in your view, than a jockey?
Trust me, about 10,000%. When you're a jockey, you rely on your own skills, your own hard work, your own work ethic, and your own ability.
As a jockey, I'd have a suitcase and a saddle, and that was it. And I could bounce around the whole world, which I did. As a trainer, very, very different. You don't have a suitcase and a saddle.
When you're a trainer, there's a lot of other things that come into it.
A business is as good as the people that you employ, and particularly training, and particularly for a young trainer being a jockey and moving into the training ranks. I think half the battle is won if you get the right people in the stable yard, because managing the stable and the yard, the well-being of the horse is probably 80% or 90% of the job, and picking up injuries early, and often, you know, that's all done at the yard.
If you don't put your heart and soul into this game, you take one step back, things happen in this game. Horses get sick, lame.
Is it a 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-year job?
Definitely so. I mean, I leave home at 3:30 in the morning and I go home at 6:00 at night. And the horses have to be exercised, have to be fed, have to be looked after every day.
And there are other skills too.
You know, you have to have skills in people relationships. You have to be able to pick a young horse, which again is, I think, an art on its own. But I think that half the job, or 3/4 of the job of a trainer is actually done at the yearling sales, where you pick your horses. And then you've got to be able to manage your owners well and take your losses and be able to help the owners take the losses. If I was a golfer and I missed a putt for the Masters, it's me that's missed the putt for myself. As a trainer, if I lose a race, I haven't lost it for myself, I've lost it for my owners. And so that becomes the difficult part of training, is to manage the disappointments for your clients.
What have been the highs?
Well, obviously winning, you know, and to see a nice horse coming through.
For each of us out there training racehorses, it's a challenge. It's a challenge between yourself and the animal, and proving that you can actually get that animal to peak condition.
You know, it's a great feeling, I must say, you know, and great satisfaction, you know, to get the horse there.
The highs have been winning the Group 1 races. I've been fortunate to win 7 Group 1 races and over 35 Group and listed races. So I've been very blessed in my career. It's very hard to get a horse from the beginning stages, from that point where I said buying horses at the yearling sales, to standing in a winner's box of a Group 1 race. I think as long as you feel that you've got a future Group 1 winner in your string, you'll always keep trying.
Douglas tells me that he might even ride some of the horses that he's going to train initially. Did you do that in the early part of your training career?
Yes, I did, but the only trouble with that is, you know, you can only actually watch the horse that you're working with or your own horse. So, you know, if you've got a string of 50 horses, it's very difficult because it'll take you the whole day to work them if you're going to start riding work. But the important ones, I think it's worthwhile, you know, getting on.
One of the great trainers, Stanley Gorton, one day poked Mr. Caname in the ribs. And while I was riding for him, I said to him, "What are you, a trainer or a jockey?" He said, "You know I'm a trainer." He said, "Well, then stand on the ground, watch your horses work, listen to what the jockeys say, and you make up your mind from what you saw and the report back that you got from them. You'll know who exaggerates and how much they exaggerate, and you'll get a medium from that, and then you'll know how your horses are."
wonder, Dougie must need his head read, to be honest with you.
I think he will be successful. He's one of those guys that will be successful.
There's no reason why he shouldn't make it as a trainer. Personally, I think he will.
I think he'll make a success with it because, you know, like I say, you know, and he's very dedicated to, you know, to what he's doing, you know, as a jockey, and he's done so well.
Do I think that he'll do well at it? I think he will. I think Dougie's a horseman. I think he's a natural. I think he's very determined, very driven. Gets along well with people. He's got a good persona with, you know, with people. He's very well liked in Hong Kong, very popular, so he'll get the support that he needs. He's been a great ambassador for South African horse racing. It'll be a fantastic advert for South African horsemen, for him to be able to take it to the next level and to prove that we produce in South Africa not only great jockeys but great horsemen and great trainers. So I wish him all the success. We want him to come and buy our horses here. So yes, Dougie, you know, do well and come and buy South African bloodstock. The breeders and those of us that are looking to trade, welcome it with open arms.
The Coastal Horse Care Unit is here to help horses in KZN. We address various needs in the communities, one being basic horse care, veterinary, farriery and saddlery. We've become very well known in rural areas. You cannot help horses without transferring knowledge to people. We're here to give the people the skills to care for their own horses. The education program that we're doing is giving the people the skills to make tack, to make saddles, make shoes, going to be brilliant to job create and give these people a livelihood. We are looking at sustainable welfare.
That brings this week's show to a close. From record-breaking jockeys to sparkling bottles of GH Mum champagne, we wish you all a fantastic week's racing. We'll see you again in a fortnight on Sunday, the 17th of February. Until then, blooper of the week must go to our much-loved Western Cape commentator, Ravon Smith.
Trotting up is number 4, Made to Conquer, Samalo Kamungo. Samalo Kamungo.
We can all be forgiven for getting lost in the excitement of the sport we love so much, especially on a magical day such as the Sun Met.
Rainbow Bridge is cutting him back with each and every stride. Do it again, he's flying. Rainbow Bridge is charging home best of all. Rainbow Bridge wins it. Do it again, head honcho. Legal Eagle, undercover agent.
The Racing News Show and previous screenings are available online at www.goldcircle.co.za. Click on the YouTube icon, go to playlists and click on Racing News to access all shows to date.